The initial 53-man roster for your 2025 Eagles is set. We're going to break down who remains an Eagle, plus an old face returns to Philadelphia via a trade. We got a lot to talk about that and more, so without wasting any more time, let's dive right into it. What's up, y'all, and welcome to Second and 15, a Philadelphia Eagles fan podcast powered by Old City Sports Network, the best network for all your Philadelphia sports needs. This is your host, Michael Roscoe. And before we get into all the Eagles related news, it's got to be reported about because it's literally the hottest topic in America right now. On the former Eagles center Jason Kelsey's podcast, New Heights, as well as his brother's Instagram post, it's been reported that Chiefs tight end Travis Kelsey and his girlfriend slash most popular pop artist in the world right now, Taylor Swift, are officially engaged. Now, I did not see Jason Kelsey and Taylor Swift becoming in laws on my 2025 bingo card, but it's officially official, y'all. So, congrats to Travis and Taylor on a beautiful engagement. And now, let's shift our focus back into the Eagles content. So, starting off with some pre roster cut down moves. Prior to the announcement of the initial 53-man roster, Howie Roseman made three interesting trades until about Monday of this past week. The first was trading with Minnesota to obtain quarterback Sam Howell along with a 2026 sixth round pick, to which the Birds gave a 2026 fifth round pick and a 2027 seventh round pick. Now, at first, you're probably thinking, why did we trade for a quarterback when we had four of them on our roster? Well, you'll find out about the last two if you didn't already know. And with our quarterback two, Tanner McKee, he's dealing with a injured thumb on his throwing hand. But good news as of today, McKee was a participant in practice, so it does not appear that the thumb injury is holding him back too much. Now, with this move, the Eagles would waive quarterbacks Dorian Thompson Robinson and Kyle McCord. And honestly, it wasn't a major surprise to me. Both quarterbacks' preseason performances, how do I put this gently? They were kind of ass, I'm not gonna lie. Sam Howell at least has some starting experience as he has started 19 NFL games, including nearly a full season with the Washington Commanders. So to me, he gets the edge, and I'd rather have him as our quarterback two or our quarterback three, depending on Tanner McKee's injury duration, than I would with DTR or McCord. The second trade, Philadelphia sent offensive lineman Darian Kennard to the Green Bay Packers for a 2027 sixth round pick. This move I'm not mad about when you consider the final move Philly made before Tuesday. What is very interesting about this move with Darian Kennard, more specifically just with Darian Kennard in general, is that he is a three-time Super Bowl champion, all while only playing three NFL regular season games, including one start. This man has played one game for every Super Bowl ring he has. He was with the Chiefs in the 2022 and 2023 season when they went back to back in the Super Bowl, then got picked up by Philly last year, where he earned a third Super Bowl ring when Philly took home the title then. Kennard is like the person in the group project who did less than 5% of the work, but reaps the benefit of having an A. I'm not hating Kennard. I just find his NFL career very peculiar. The final move Philly made before the roster cut down date was acquiring a familiar face back to Philly. The Birds would make a trade with the Jacksonville Jaguars to reacquire offensive tackle Fred Johnson in exchange for a 26 seventh round pick. Johnson had signed a 1 year deal with the Jags back in March, but he finds himself back in the city of brotherly love just almost 6 months later. Now, I truly did not understand why we let Fred Johnson walk in free agency in the first place. With tackles Lane Johnson and Jordan Mailata's injuries, Johnson filled in for them for basically an entire third of the regular season and overall was pretty good in relief. He had struggled a bit in the first game that he was called up to start. However, like Jalen Hurts, Fred Johnson was dominant when he was needed the most, holding off all pro edge rushers such as Trey Hendrickson, essentially shutting him down completely. And when you consider that he's been criticized by analysts for his quote, overall lack of athleticism, that's a major accomplishment for Johnson and an immediate reboost for the Eagles' overall line. And considering the Jags were only paying him just under $1.2 million, to me, this is a steal for a quality relief offensive lineman who could fill in immediately, especially when you consider the O line injuries we've been dealing with in our preseason so far. All right, shifting to the main topic, the 53-man roster. So, Tuesday was the deadline for teams across the league to cut their 90-man rosters all the way down to 53. As the day progressed on Tuesday, we got early reports of some players being waived, such as safety Maxon Hook, kick returner Avery Williams, linebacker Lance Dixon, and more. By the time 4 p.m. hit, we finally had the initial official 53-man roster, which goes as follows by position. With quarterbacks, you have Jalen Hurts, Tanner McKee, and Sam Howell. With running backs and fullback, you have Saquon Barkley, Will Shipley, A.J. Dillon, and Ben Van Sumeren. In the wide receiver room, you have A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Jahan Dotson, John Mechie, and Darius Cooper. With the offensive line, you have Landon Dickerson, Fred Johnson, Lane Johnson, Cam Jurgens, Drew Kendall, Jordan Mailata, Matt Pryor, Tyler Steen, Brett Toth, Trevor Keegan, and Cameron Williams. On the defensive line, you have Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis, Gabe Hall, Moro Ojomo, Ty Robinson, and Byron Young. At the edge position, you have Jalix Hunt, Aziz Ojulari, Nolan Smith Jr., Josh Uche, and Ogbo Okoronkwo. At interior linebacker, you have 4 players with Zach Bond, Jahad Campbell, Smile Munden Jr., and Jeremiah Trotter Jr. For defensive backs, you have Jacorian Bennett, Reed Blankenship, Sidney Brown, Cooper DeJean, Adoree Jackson, Tristan McCollum, Mac McWilliams, Quinyon Mitchell, Andrew Makuba, and Keely Ringo. And rounding out at special teams, you had Jake Elliott and Braden Mann. All right, now I know what some of y'all are probably thinking. I will get to it. As of yesterday, there had been a couple of additional roster moves after the official announcement of the 53-man roster, including the release of offensive lineman Trevor Keegan and safety Tristan McCollum, and claiming offensive lineman Willie Rampkin IV from the Rams, along with re-signing of long snapper Charlie Hewlett back to the active roster. Getting those pieces of news out the way, now I'm going to finish this topic off with sharing with you some of my takeaways from this current roster. First things first, we see a failed move by Howie. So, during free agency, the Eagles and the Texans swapped players, with Philly sending safety CJ Goddard-Johnson to the Texans, while they sent offensive lineman Kenyon Green over to us. Now, Green, he was one of the worst ranked offensive guards in the league last year, and he just couldn't make anything happen in camp, and then he was also dealing with the injury issues. This would ultimately lead to Green getting the boot and Howie officially failing in this move. But now, when you consider Howie's resurgence as a GM over the past few years, and all the amazing moves he's made for our team for their present and their future, I'll let this one slide. Next, Patrick Johnson missing the roster. Now, this kind of bummed me out a little bit. And when I saw the Birds re-sign edge rusher Patrick Johnson back to our roster, I thought he would make the final cut, especially after a strong preseason, including tipping a pass leading to an interception from him, and then having an 11-yard tackle for loss in the same game. Now, don't get me wrong, I knew he was going to be a roster bubble guy, And I kind of thought there would be 6 edge rushers that Philadelphia would have kept, but alas, that was not the case as we only kept 5. However, the Eagles were able to secure him on the practice squad, so we're able to elevate the talented pass rusher in the event of an injury to that group. Next takeaway, we have a better understanding of Nakobe Dean's official return, with Nakobe Dean not being listed with the linebackers on the initial roster. Obviously, I knew that that did not mean that he was being cut. But between that and his most recent Instagram post confirming this, it seems that linebacker Nakobe Dean will start out the season on the PUP list and make his official return in week 5. Until then, it's almost guaranteed that rookie linebacker Jahad Campbell will get the start week 1 alongside Zach Bond. But by the time week 5 comes, Philly will have a decision to make on who's getting cut completely or moved to the practice squad, since PUP players don't count towards the active roster until they are cleared from the PUP list. And when you add Nakobe Dean, somebody's got to go out. But who do we think that person is? Just don't know yet. Next takeaway, we have another UDFA Cinderella story potentially in the making. And I assume everyone knows who I'm talking about, but if for some reason you don't, it is undrafted free agent rookie out of Tarleton State University, wide receiver Darius Cooper, making the final cut. And I know a lot of people thought Anais Smith would have had the edge over Cooper, especially with Smith's versatility and experience with Philly. But if you paid attention to my last episode, I actually predicted Darius Cooper making the roster over Anais Smith, considering how well Cooper balled out in that first preseason game and never looked back. Throughout the preseason, he logged 7 catches on 10 targets for 90 yards and 1 touchdown that came against the Cincinnati Bengals. After that game, Cooper was the talk of the town in Philly, and he was able to keep this momentum up throughout the entire preseason to earn himself a final roster spot. Now, I honestly do like this move over Anais Smith. I just think, considering how well Cooper has done and the overall level of inconsistency presented from Anais Smith over the past couple years, it makes more sense to me to keep Darius Cooper. Plus, who doesn't love a good UDFA rookie story? From former Eagles linebacker TJ Edwards to current Eagles safety Reed Blankenship, it goes to show you that you don't have to be a first round or even a 7th round pick to make an impact on an NFL team. As for Cooper's role on the team, it's looking like it'll be predominantly a special teamer, as ESPN's depth chart currently has Cooper DeJean as our punt returner and running back Will Shipley as a kick returner. But who knows? This could all change over the next week or so. All right, my final takeaway from this initial roster is a big move at safety finally coming. With the Eagles waiving safety Tristan McCollum on Wednesday, the Eagles are just down to 3 safeties listed on the roster, that being Reed Blankenship, Andrew Makuba, and Sidney Brown. Now, on the Eagles depth chart, Brown and Makuba are dead even alongside Blankenship. Yet on ESPN's depth chart, they have Sidney Brown over Andrew Makuba. But the actual point of this takeaway is, one, I don't love the idea of just having 3 safeties on the roster. And 2, hopefully the Eagles don't love this idea as well and waived McCollum to make room for a splash signing at the safety position. Besides corner, this is like one of the last major holes Philly's got to do with their roster. Reed Blankenship, to me, is the only proven and consistent guy in that safety room. And when you have to play 2 safeties on the field at the same time, that is a problem. Now, nothing has been confirmed yet, but I'm telling y'all, I think between now and next Thursday, the Eagles are going to make a big move and sign a veteran safety. Whether it be Justin Simmons or another veteran, I am predicting that this is the moment that Philly finally makes this signing, because right now it is basically all or nothing at this point, as we are just a week away from week 1 facing Dallas at home. All right, y'all, that is it for this week's episode. Thank you all for joining us. Don't forget to like, subscribe, or follow on YouTube, X, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok by searching at Second and 15 or by the full name Second and 15, a Philadelphia Eagles fan podcast. You can find the audio for each and every single episode releasing Thursday mornings on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, Player FM, or wherever you get your podcasts, with the video uploading to YouTube later that same day. This episode, Second and 15, and Old City Sports Network are brought to you by SeatGeek. Download the app and use promo code Old City Sports Network for $20 off your first purchase. We are just a week away from the Eagles' season opener at home, releasing the Super Bowl banners, and if there's any tickets left, you could probably find some on SeatGeek and use our promo code to help cut down some of those costs, because I know it's going to be a pricey one. So download the app or head on over to SeatGeek.com to get your tickets today. Once again, thanks y'all for joining in. This is Second and 15, a Philadelphia Eagles fan podcast powered by Old City Sports Network. This time next week will be regular season Eagles football. I felt like we have been waiting for this shit forever, and I am so excited about that. By this time next week, we will be watching a regular season game, and hopefully your 2025 Eagles can do the repeat. So we will see you all then. Don't forget to stay fly like an eagle, and as always, go Birds!